two men with paranoid schizophrenia stabbed members of the public in separate attacks just weeks before Valdo Callakane's killings in Nottingham, and all were under the care of the same NHS trust. Now, students Barnaby Webber and Grace O'Malley Kumar and school caretaker Ian Coates were stabbed to death by Callakane on the 13th of June in 2023. Now, families of the victims will be returning to Nottingham next month on June the 13th for the second anniversary as the public inquiry begins, and they still demand answers. I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the studio by Dr. Sanjoy Kumar, who's the father of the Nottingham victim, Grace O'Malley Kumar. Sanjoy, first of all, shake your hand as ever. Thank you so much for coming to see us at GB News. I spoke to Emma Webber earlier on the show. Tell us about the motivation, what you're hoping to achieve, but a very emotional return 2 years to the day on June the 13th. You still feel that you aren't getting enough answers, and you still feel there isn't enough cooperation from the system in Nottingham. Tell us more.
Well, thank you for having me, Martin. I think, I've got to say that Grace, my daughter, had the best year of her life at Nottingham, your hometown. She was at medical school. She was going to become a doctor. She was playing hockey for the first 11. It was a fantastic team. Used to win the Bucks Cup all the time. She was living the dream. The people of Nottingham were lovely. She used to say how warm-hearted they were. But there we were, not knowing how dangerous it really was because of the authorities and because of the Mental Health Trust and because of the failings by the police. In fact, unfortunately, 13th of June 2023 turned our lives upside down, the Webber family's lives upside down, and the Coates family's lives upside down. The horrific attack that took place was totally avoidable, and if it wasn't for the trust, this animal would not have been out on the street, and I think people in Nottingham would have been safer. This story's come to the surface now because of more failings. So I did see your interview with Emma, and in that, at the end, you had a statement by I think the clinical lead, Dr. Susan Alcock, who said that we learn and we have a serious case. Well, this is a serious case review, in our case, not worth the paper it's printed on. And the reason these things happen all the time is because no one is named, no one is blamed. This is the Care Quality Commission report that told us that the services in Nottingham for mental health trust patients were rubbish. From top to down, they were useless. This report tells us absolutely nothing, no detail. This is the NHS England report. Again, it actually tells us nothing. It doesn't blame anyone. It doesn't hold anyone accountable. Things will not change in our country till we actually hold people accountable. The only way of stopping mental health homicides in our country is to hold lazy psychiatrists who don't do their work properly and don't keep the people safe. They are the ones who should be held to account, and that's how we will stop these dreadful things happening that happened in Nottingham.
And we seem to find over and over again, be it rape gangs, be it situations like this, nobody is ever specifically held accountable. Lessons must be learned. We will move on, we won't repeat this, let's light a candle, let's say a prayer. You guys, I know you're not going to stand for that. You're going to push this further, and June the 13th, as well as the totemic date, which must be incredibly hard for you to bear, there's a symbolism in you gathering to make them listen.
Martin, I'm going to lay a rose because my daughter was a rose. She served her county, she served her country, she wanted to be a medic in the NHS and also join the army. There wasn't a person who was more patriotic than my daughter. At 19, she had done more for her country than many 19-year-olds done. She'd volunteered for a COVID vaccination programme. So I'm going to lay a rose where my rose fell, defending her friend. She chose friendship over fear. She didn't run away. She fought that monster, and she fought, and she gave up her life. I'm going to lay a rose where she fell. And I want as many people in Nottingham who want to come and lay a rose with me.
I'd like to be there with you. I said to Emma, I know those streets. I grew up on those streets. I'm ashamed of what happened in my home city. The street where Ian Coates was killed, it's a street behind where I grew up. It just haunts me, and that's insignificant as compared to what you guys have been through. as well as the laying of the roads, which is like hard to, grasp, it's just huge. And as well as holding people to account, you also want to bring some of the survivors together. You want the media to listen, and you're not going to give up, are you?
I tell you what, not till I am breathing my last breath, I want to bring mental health-related homicide in our country to an absolute zero. We have up to 2 mental health-related homicides a week in our country, and that's because of the laziness of people who just can't be bothered to do their jobs properly. Not only is it symbolic for me, but I'll tell you what, everyone who has suffered a mental health homicide should join with us. We want our case to be the last in England, and we don't want any of these, because I'll tell you what, they are all preventable. If you look at these case reports, every serious case report, like you were saying, no one is also named. And if you're not named, you're not going to be shamed, and you're going to carry on doing the lazy job. Stop being protected by these trusts. This trust has failed all the way from top to bottom, has been negligent as a corporate body. We are going to hold them to account, and we will not let go.
Incredibly moving, incredibly powerful, and every time I see you, I'm just blown away by you as people, as humans, as families. It's just an astonishing resolve you've got. How do you do it?
Well, I said, I tell you what, I do this for my girl. She was the love of my life. My life is not the same without her. I'm deeply emotional about losing my daughter, and I can't imagine anyone else will want to lose their son, their daughter, their father in the way we did. It has to stop. On the 9th of June, we are seeing Wes Streeting, where I'm going to give him all 3 of these reports and ask him where's the answer in here, because there isn't in these reports. You cannot have shambolic reports like this, and I can tell you there is absolutely no way the Secretary of State for Health is going to accept these like us. I want him to reject them himself. I want people held accountable, and believe you me, we will stop this total epidemic in our country.
It's always a pleasure and inspiration to be in your company. Thank you very, very much. And when you meet Mrs. Streeting, please come and see us again. We'll do all we can to keep the pressure up. Thank you very, very much. Dr. Sanjoy Kumar, father of Grace O'Malley Kumar. Now, we're duty-bound to read out that response. It is from Dr. Susan Elcock, the Executive Medical Director at Nottinghamshire Healthcare, and it says this. Whilst we are unable to comment on individual cases due to patient confidentiality, I want to assure people that following any serious incidents, there is a robust review process, which includes an initial management review to ensure any immediate learning and action takes place.